What's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. With October upon us, we're in the middle of the Halloween season, so today we're looking at spooky LEGO sets, but to narrow things down, we're only looking at castles and mansions. And let's be real, creepy castles and mansions are some of the best things about this time of year. So in today's video, we're counting down the top 10. Let's get into it. To start today's list, I have one honorable mention, Darth Vader's castle. It's not a set one would immediately associate with traditional Halloween themes, but it's creepy in its own right, especially among Star Wars sets. The front of the set is dark and ominous, with its translucent red accents and lava waterfall. Inside you'll find other spooky details, like Darth Vader's bacta-tank and some Sith holocrons and statues. It doesn't quite make it into the official entries for today's list, but this is probably the closest thing we'll ever get to a Star Wars haunted house set. Starting off our official entries, we have a vintage set with the Night Lord's Castle from the LEGO Castle sub-theme Fright Nights, which leaned much more into spooky vibes than any other castles line.
Inside with a Bat Lord and his knights, a witch, and the smell of rotting birds.
This is the oldest set on today's list, as it debuted 25 years ago in 1997. With that in mind, its building techniques are a lot more rudimentary than fans expect today, but it still gave fans back in the day a lot to appreciate when it comes to spooky details. Bats are a motif in the set, as they appear around the castle, as well as on this flag, on the knights' shields, and even on their capes. Before researching this set, I didn't even know that cape printing was ever a thing for LEGO. Additionally, the set comes with this witch minifigure and also this black dragon, which in my opinion is the coolest element of the set. The set is certainly a product of its time, but I still think it's good enough to earn a spot at the beginning of today's list.
Chilling new Fright Nights collection from LEGO System.
Next, I'm picking the Hogwarts Chamber of Secrets. This is the second largest playscale version of Hogwarts ever released, with 1,176 pieces. The 2010 iteration had about 100 more pieces, but I think the Chamber of Secrets is the better build by far, and also has more creepy elements that make it the entry I've chosen for today's list. Inside of the castle, you'll find some classrooms featuring spooky details like this skull, and you may even spot nearly headless Nick floating around, a glow-in-the-dark minifigure. There's multiple candles sprinkled across the set, adding to its ambience. Outside, you'll find a cool balcony area where minifigures can be placed to brood as they look out over the expanse of Hogwarts. Below the castle, you'll find the Chamber of Secrets, one of the scariest places in Harry Potter lore, inside of which you'll find the dreaded basilisk. Of course, the set comes with some exceptional minifigures as well that contribute to the set being a great addition to anyone looking to pick it up for Halloween. If you prefer to build custom sets, the chamber provides a ton of nice parts that could be used for other spooky builds as well. Some standout pieces are these gray shields and snake head statues. There's also a lot of these lattice windows in black and reddish brown that would be perfect for other creepy house builds. And all of the sand green spires are nice to get as well, not to mention the pixies and owls included. The Chamber of Secrets is also compatible with other Hogwarts sets, so if you have them, you could end up making a pretty immersive display. If you're enjoying the video so far, be sure to like it, as it will help this channel continue to reach more LEGO fans. Thank you so much for your support. Next on our list is the Newberry Haunted High School from the Hidden Side theme. This set is chock full of creepy detail. The set's main feature is that the entire thing can be transformed into a monster. I've personally always thought that the monster version of the school looked pretty stupid, but in spite of that, the set still packs a ton of other great elements that earn it the 8th spot on today's list. There are quite a few spooky minifigures, with the standout being this teacher. It has some creepy portraits, a grandfather clock, and a skeleton in the science classroom. It also helps that the architecture of the entire set builds up the creepy vibe. All of the desks and tables are built in an old-fashioned style, and the black spikes and spires on top of the school are nice as well. The dark red color is a good fit, and the pieces could be used for a customized regular school as well. For a bit of trivia, this is easily the biggest school set LEGO has ever produced, with it having 1,474 pieces. Unfortunately, LEGO doesn't often make schools, and when they do, they are almost always part of the LEGO Friends line, which immediately cuts off a lot of buyers. I hope that one day, LEGO releases a large-scale school set for regular LEGO City. For number 7, I'm going with the LEGO Batman Arkham Asylum Breakout set. When making this list, I knew I wanted Arkham to be on here somewhere, as it really deserves it, but I wasn't sure which to pick. Initially, I was going to pick the version based on the LEGO Batman movie. It's unique with its brown and gray color scheme, and the architecture is unique and detailed as well. However, after comparing the details, I don't think there's any denying that the Breakout version is a better fit for this Halloween list. It has details such as gargoyles, a strap-in stretcher to control the Joker, creepy statues, broken windows, and a darker aesthetic overall. Inside you'll find prison cells, as well as a laboratory for Dr. Harleen Quinzel. The set also has great minifigures, including a rather creepy scarecrow. The side build for the gate with the black statues is particularly good. It uses an interesting building technique by using a Technic plate that is threaded through with black minifigure spears. There are interesting pieces used on the facade of the building, like these minifigure hand blades and handcuffs. The window uses the stained glass build to good effect, which is the same building technique that we see in a far less creepy set in Unexpected Gathering from The Hobbit. And in typical LEGO fashion, they had to throw in a vehicle, so we have this creepy prisoner transportation van, which is surprisingly good. I like the use of the bars on the front, and just how claustrophobic it is with fitting the Joker inside. It's a surprisingly useful addition to the set. Overall, this set is the darkest Arkham iteration we've received so far. Our next entry is the Mystery Castle from LEGO Hid Inside. I really like this castle's simple gray and black color scheme. Using only the light gray color against the black roof pieces gives this set a really striking contrast that actually looks better than other sets like the Arkham Asylum, which blends the colors by using much more of the dark gray. Getting that tower roof piece in black is also really useful for custom builders, as it is a rare piece. Unfortunately, the set is quite compact for its $100 price tag, not offering quite as much interior detail as it should. This is because a lot of the set's pieces and structure are dedicated to creating the monster version of the castle, a pitfall that unfortunately plagued so many of the Hid Inside sets like the school mentioned previously, and much of the interior that is included feels empty. However, it's not all bad. I particularly like the stained glass windows, the blue candles, the throne for Neymar Reem, who I have to say is one of the creepiest minifigures ever, and the astronomy tower, which does provide a nice variation in color with its dark tan and dark green color scheme. When the set is opened up, it does feel quite a bit bigger, albeit very thin. Perhaps the most interesting thing to note about this set is how rare it is. The Hid Inside theme was cancelled abruptly, presumably due to poor sales, and many of the theme's final sets, which included this castle, had an extremely limited run, as the theme was rumored to be cancelled even before they released. As a consequence of this, the Mystery Castle never made it to many of the big retailers in the United States. For a personal anecdote, I never once found the Mystery Castle in any Walmart or Target. The only place I ever found it to be in stock was Lego.com, and for only a few months at that, with Brickset listing its official run on Lego's website as the 24th of August to the 22nd of November 2020, less than 3 months. Because of its limited availability, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually this set sells for $500 to $600 or more as copies are bought up. To wrap up this entry, the Mystery Castle looks great and has an interesting history, but leaves some to be desired. Just breaking into the top 5, I'm going with the Haunted House ride set, which has always reminded me of Disney World's Tower of Terror. This is easily the biggest set on this list, with 3,231 pieces and a price of $300. But as I'll explain, the biggest isn't always the best. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's first talk about the positives. The set looks amazing and is absolutely huge. This set likely has more olive green pieces than any other, which is great for mock builders as that's quite a rare color. The architecture is great, using some of the techniques that are used in other large-scale modular buildings. And from the exterior, the building definitely looks like it belongs on a list of the best Halloween houses and castles. The interior is chock full of Easter eggs referencing other LEGO themes, to the point that the set's become an icon of LEGO history to fans. You can look up videos on YouTube of fans explaining all the references, and it takes forever to get through all of them. The organ is also an amazing build. Now let's move on to why I can't place this set any higher on this list. For how big it is, proportionally, it doesn't provide quite as much as some of the other sets on today's list that are a fraction of the price. This is because a huge portion of this set is dedicated to building up the ride function. I'm not a huge fan of ride LEGO sets, and I'd much prefer just a fully detailed house of this size, but I appreciate that it's still a great looking set from the outside.
The evil Lord Vampire has awakened his army of monsters. But now you can join the monster fighters.
Our next entry comes from a theme LEGO fans would know to expect on a list like this, Monster Fighters, from which I'm picking the Vampire Castle. This set is incredible, packing in so much detail, and it looks phenomenal. We're at the point in this list where any of the upcoming entries could be your personal number 1. And really, this entire list was so competitive that it was exceedingly difficult to rank these sets because of how good they all were. The Vampire Castle definitely leans into the Castle Dracula vibes, which is right up my alley as a fan of the original novel. Inside you'll find a lab, a small library, a coffin for Dracula, and a ton of other details. One thing that's interesting about the interior is that the stairs can shift, giving the impression that hidden passages are being revealed. One unique feature of the main spire is this portal. I'm not well versed in Monster Fighter's lore, but it definitely adds to the set's theming and gives kids a way to bring in a lot of imaginative elements into the set. Other details include this organ above the portal, which is a simple build, but I'm glad it was included. The set also features a death spike trap, a jail, some hidden treasure, a cauldron, and these interesting protrusions which allow for the bat monsters to hang upside down. Like Arkham Asylum, the set also comes with a vehicle, this one for our good guys. It's an old-time automobile that has a style similar to steampunk. It features some mounted guns and a net shooter to take out the monsters. 7 minifigures were included, and they're all really detailed. The standouts are Lord Vampire and his bride. The only exclusive minifigures are the 2 bat monsters. I could keep talking about this set, but it'll suffice to say that it's a great set that heavily leans into classical horror tropes and iconography.
New LEGO Monster Fighters, each set sold separately.
Moving into the top 3, I'm going with the Tower of Orthank, the largest set from the Lord of the Rings theme, coming in at 2,359 pieces and a retail price of $200 when it released back in 2015. It's massive, coming in at over 2 feet tall. The completely black exterior is imposing and does a fantastic job of capturing the cold, stone exterior that makes the tower so menacing in the films. As you make your way up the tower, you'll find a staircase, stonework, a balcony, barred windows, and other details culminating in the 4 protruding spikes at the tower's pinnacle. All of the ornate architectural detail elevates this set above other castle sets, as the Tower of Orthank doesn't rely on any large cheap pieces such as pre-molded walls. All of the spikes, stonework, and windows are crafted from individual small pieces that makes the tower incredibly detailed, and the interior is just as good. The tower has 6 floors, all of which are fully realized, including a dungeon, Saruman's throne, a laboratory, and a relic room. In front of Saruman's throne, you'll find his Palantir, which he uses to communicate with Sauron, and to each side are these orb lights. If an uninvited guest finds their way into the tower, Saruman can activate a trapdoor leading straight into the torturous dungeon. Towards the top of the tower, there's this foldable ladder build, which is actually quite compact, but can be deployed when needed, offering realistic access between floors. The Tower of Orthank is one of LEGO's best castles, and definitely one of its scariest. For the runner-up on today's list, we have another Halloween essential, the Mystery Mansion from Scooby-Doo. While this set isn't as technically advanced as the Tower of Orthank or the Haunted House ride, it makes up for it because of how fun it is, and for how iconic Scooby-Doo is. Scooby-Doo is inextricably tied to Halloween and spookiness so closely that it can't be understated, and this set is the pinnacle of LEGO's success with the short-lived theme. The purple and reddish-brown color scheme with orange accents is perfect for the season, and honestly makes some of the other sets on this list with their gray and black color schemes look mundane in comparison. The Mystery Mansion just has so much style, with its crooked door, boarded-up windows, and decrepit greenhouse. One great play feature is that when the clock strikes midnight, Dracula is revealed. In my opinion, this is easily the best vampire or Dracula minifigure LEGO has ever produced. The face and hairpiece are perfect, capturing the original look of the cartoon that is certainly channeling the original Bela Lugosi look. The set provides some other great minifigures as well, as it includes the entire mystery gang besides Fred. Velma is insanely expensive now, selling for $70 to $100 as she was exclusive to this set. The only interior detail I don't love is the huge spiked wrecking ball, which can knock guests straight out of the front door as they enter, which is definitely in step with the original cartoon, but I just think it takes up a bit too much space. The dingy kitchen where Scooby and Shaggy can make monster sandwiches is a great tribute, and the coffin for Dracula is another standout part. For the top spot on today's list, I have to go with the Monster Fighter's Haunted House. Not only is this a phenomenal set for the Halloween season, but it's also one of the best LEGO sets of all time. I love that LEGO went all out, giving fans a fully built haunted house the size of a LEGO modular building. Full buildings outside of LEGO's official modulars are exceedingly rare, so even this set's existence is quite exceptional. The house has a classic look that is reminiscent of shows from the 60s like the Munsters and Addams Family. There's no doubt this was intentional, as LEGO even made some of the minifigures, like Frankenstein's monster butler, in grayscale. The sand green color scheme adds to the washed out, run down look, and the tall black slopes for the roof look really good. Even though it doesn't use any crazy building techniques, this set has my favorite roof when comparing it to all the other modulars. One thing that's really cool about this set is that it actually looks like a house that has slowly decayed over the years. Some fans have even remodeled the haunted house back into shape, and the results look surprisingly good, like an actual extreme home makeover. The interior has a lot of builds for the minifigures to interact with as well. One of my favorites is this classic phonograph turntable that uses the minifigure hat from the Adventurers line. Another gruesome detail is this heart in a jar, which originally released as Davy Jones's in the Pirates of the Caribbean line. That heart brick alone is quite expensive, selling for more than $10. Other interior details include these animal bones above the rickety bed frame, a closet, a full-size staircase, and a kitchen. There's also a second exit, which gives a nice break in the house's symmetry, and in front of the house, you'll find a spooky gate to top it off. All in all, this set is incredible, and in my opinion, is easily the best for today's list. Well folks, that's gonna do it for today's list. The competition for this list was harder than any other list I've made, and I can definitely see any of these sets being someone else's number one. With that in mind, let me know your opinions down in the comments, and until next time, see you later.